Here we are again. Okay.
Let's bring it back.
I'm Mika, or M.
I'm Becca, or B.
And this is Fangirlish with M and B, the podcast where two girls, two friends, two fans yap about all things fangirl-ish. And if you're here, you're probably upset about Kastle too, because you read the title. Or you're a friend and you're just curious about what it is that we're talking about today. Or perhaps you have no idea who you are. Maybe you don't. Maybe you survived a coma. You know what? We're all first timers in a way. You might even recognize us from our previous shows. So we had other iterations of this current format. We had Breakfast at the Beanery, wherein we were trying to call back to Smallville, All You Can Feel, and All You Can Think, a show that we never ended up debuting, but we did have social media for. And thank you to the friends who supported it and saw nothing come of it. We're back. We've resurrected ourselves because we have a lot of emotions about Daredevil. Surprising nobody. And so we are back. This time we mean serious business. This is our 4th time trying to record this episode. And so you know that this is for real. We're trying hard to make sure everybody's audio is on.
Yeah, we want the audio to work.
Yeah.
Also, the graphics are gorgeous.
Thank you. Previous shows kind of had the same spirit of two of us, two friends, yapping about their interests, and a lot of the time that was superheroes, but it was also sometimes not, because we are multifaceted and therefore multi-fandom. We also talk about other things that just matter most to us in our hearts, in media or out, including mental health. And so we have a lot of segments planned for this show. We might not have the whole show planned out, or in my case, we might not notice that certain audio tracks are on or not. So we do have segments and we do have bits planned. And so this is a segment that we like to call Mentally I'm Here, where we talk about where we are mentally here. Let's check in. The state of the world is insert fire crackling sounds. How are you?
In spite of the state of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so I will, in previous iterations, I have not been brief. I will keep this brief. I'm stressed, but I'm good. I'm excited to talk about Daredevil today. I'm stressed about school and life and all of the things that we deal with, and it is pervasive and persistent, but so is Daredevil. And thank goodness for that.
Yay!
How are you doing?
I am also stressed. And before version number 1, I was like, guys, I'm feeling low energy today. I've just been crashing out a lot. We're at high energy because I'm tired of having to re-record over and over. I've kind of lost all propriety now. I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna yap. So that's how I am.
Maybe that's fine. That's what we're here for. That's
Exactly,
what we're here for.
exactly.
This is our rawest, truest selves for you guys,
Yeah.
for us. You know, we're here. The high energy is here for better or worse, and from better or worse, which is good. So that's our check-in. Mentally, we're there, stressed and high energy. And another one of our segments that we kind of want to introduce is something that's akin to or similar to our fandom main meal, if you will. We want to introduce a segment called Pandora's Box, which is a sort of hot takes segment, sort of like the things you don't want to find at the bottom of Pandora's Box. Or in Pandora's Box, I mean, Hope is at the bottom. Anyways, Pandora's Box. I'll go ahead and start. I have a hot take. We have since figured out what Mika's hot take is, so
Yay.
That'll be exciting to dig into. My hot take is that the current iteration of Daredevil Born Again, what we have canonically at the moment, I feel that Matt Murdock should not be dating anybody that's in the show. I think I stand by that. I think that Marin specifically, so Matt and Karen, is a bad ship, a bad relationship, and I can understand why they have put them together, but I don't like it, and I think that Matt would be better single at the moment.
Yeah. And that's everybody, that's her hot take. Sorry, that's her hot take.
That's her.
Was pointing.
That is not mine.
That's not mine.
Yeah.
Don't come for me, not mine.
Marin haters, Marin fans can come for me.
Yeah, my hot take is that in Daredevil Born Again, seasons 1 and 2, I think it was worse in season 1. I believe that the fight sequences shouldn't be slow-mo. Shouldn't be slow-mo, and
Ugh.
they should do better and kind of, I don't mean that they should only do what they were doing before in the Netflix run of the series, but I think that we want something a little bit more grounded, because especially because the actors just do such a good job with the fight choreo that they're given. I think a little less theater. Like, I know that they're taking more of an MCU approach to it. When we
Yeah.
were watching the last episode, we kind of, you mentioned Yelena being like, she would call Matt out for that pose, the
Face
fight
posing?
pose. Yeah,
Yes.
I think I'm wanting less of that and more of the
Yeah.
more grounded choreography. That was especially egregious to me in how they shot any scenes with the Punisher last season, where it just felt
Yes.
very gratuitous and not in the way that we are familiar with in terms of his show or even in Daredevil season 2. So that's my hot take.
Hey, that's also a hot take for me. I agree.
I don't agree
I
with your hot
agree.
take, but we share in that hot take. My thing with your hot take is that I feel that it is necessary right now. I don't disagree that Marin is a bad relationship, but sometimes I think we need to see the bad relationships through in order to like see them rise to Kastle
Yeah.
or whatever. So I'm kind of on the side of, if it's good writing, like if this is gonna lead to they're gonna be in a different place at the end of the season, then I'm for its existing. But if it isn't, then I'll be really mad. But right now, I think I'm reading a few signals that they might not always be on the same page. Like, we get that callback to, let me mention Frank and his way of doing things, but also Karen literally killing someone. There's like seeds being planted for maybe seeing more conflict between the two, more tension towards the end of the season, especially now that we've, by the way, if you're like listening to this and you're this far ahead, there's just major spoiler territory from here on out.
Yeah, you better go watch the episodes.
Yeah, I think that given that Vanessa may or may not be around with us anymore, there is the potential for, you know, sort of, because they keep paralleling the Fisks with Marin and how they
Yeah.
are sort of even just existing around each other in moments of quiet, in moments of domesticity. I think that because Fisk is now potentially losing that person, that we're going to see something like that, or we're gonna see that relationship be threatened for sure, whether by Fisk externally or through the internal struggle of where they approach things. And so I'm kind of hopeful that Matt and Karen won't last. I think ideally he wouldn't be in a relationship, but they would be too scared to put him with anybody else.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing.
yeah.
Like, who's in the show right now? I don't see anybody that's a good match
Yeah.
for him. But I do agree, and that is coming from such a rom-com, I just want Matt to be happy with his soulmate perspective, which is not a narrative for the Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
So I agree. I do think that it's serving a purpose for, hopefully, for an in-game sort of story where they're friends and not together, regardless of what happens with Karen and Frank, regardless of what happens with other relationships. If they do decide to just keep them together, I'm gonna be pretty upset about it. I'm gonna feel like that's bad writing because they
I
don't have great
too
romantic
will
chemistry.
feel bad about that. I will be bitter about it to the very end, because it's one thing, mind you, it's one thing that Frank and Karen aren't together. It's another thing to then put Matt and Karen together. That just feels like double whammy of pain. At least with
Yeah.
Kastle, which, by the way, this is the main meat of this episode, is us talking about Kastle. Again, you read the title. Yeah, I think that I was always kind of emotionally prepared for Frank and Karen not to be together on the show, just because, you know, the comic bros would like get up in arms about Frank Kastle happiness. Frank Kastle and a love interest. They haven't read the fan fiction. They haven't watched the edits. they don't know what we could
They don't
have.
know.
And so I
They're not
kind of
fangirls, I'll say that.
right. And so they don't imagine a better world for themselves or the characters that they love. they live in horror and tragedy. I think that because I know or knew that Frank was never gonna be with Karen, like it's a very slim chance of that happening. I've kind of accepted my lot, just knowing that at the very least, we're acknowledging the fact that there was a potential and that there were mutual feelings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch the hospital scene in The Punisher season 2, episode 11 question mark. But on the other hand, when it comes to Matt and Karen, it is upsetting to think about that that's the direction that they would choose for her endgame. But we're not there yet, so like I don't know.
We'll see what they choose to do with that.
Yes,
Unfortunately, I feel like it can really go either way.
At this point, when you have Charlie Cox being like, and they're like Peter and MJ. Sorry, that's not how he sounds. He sounds like, and they're like Peter and MJ. That's also not how he sounds. That's also quite it, but not what he said. But yeah, I'm just upset. Okay,
she's the MJ I feel to his
MJ Peter. To his Peter.
Yeah, that's the accent.
I'm sorry and I love you. We're not gonna get Kastle the way that we want, but if we're not going to get Kastle the way that we want, we shouldn't have to suffer as a people watching Marin.
Through Marin. Yeah. I agree. It's a shame, and I mentioned this in our last recording, but like it is a shame that Jon Bernthal is actively recording, like had been actively recording the Frank Kastle special while season 2 of Born Again was filming. I feel like that kind of scheduling really restricts what writers can do with the story that they're working on, especially in a place like the MCU where you're going through all of these different projects, because he's also doing, of course, what is the Spider-Man movie called?
We're gonna cut that. Brand New Day.
Yes, I kept saying Back Home, especially because Jon Bernthal is going to be in Brand New Day. So it's a shame because it's just like what happened with season 3 and of Daredevil and season 2 of The Punisher, where I'm kind of like, what could we have had if not for this scheduling thing in the real world? It's a little bit unfortunate. I guess that is what fan fiction is for. So thank you, fan fiction.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing what people do for Born Again fanfics to get us what we deserve.
Yes, yes, thank you, because we're sick and tired over here. I love them as friends, and I would like to also say that normally I love a friends to lovers pipeline. Normally that's my jam. However, with them, we've discussed in Breakfast at the Beanery and All You Can Feel how Matt and Karen aren't necessarily always clear with each other or honest and vulnerable with one another. And we're seeing a lot more of that in this season, which I'm grateful for, but it's not enough. Like, that is not enough. Yeah. I think their relationship reminds me of the idea that love is not enough, because at the end of the day, you have Karen willing to and committing to killing people, whereas Matt is clearly not on that path. Now, did he make that or try to make that work with Elektra? Sure, but we don't actually know the longevity of that relationship as it would have played out in the show, because as we all know, she is no longer here. So it's not like we really got a clear view of what that would look like in terms of Matt being with someone who is out here killing people. And so I'm sorry to say, Dex, that you can't be with him.
Fortunately, despite Matt's best chemistry being with Dex, unfortunately, that is very unlikely to happen. You guys, I disagree too strongly on your worldviews. Best scenes to watch in this current show, though, are Dex and Matt scenes.
100%.
So good.
By the way, let me switch over to our Kastle screen.
They're so pretty. Look at them.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about Kastle today because honestly I just kind of miss them. And I'm sad that they're not in the show, but I like that what we've gotten, and I like what we have seen just the last couple episodes, where we do see like Karen nodding back to Frank just in how she's thinking, and how she like sees the world, or even like her concern being like, where is he? Like, me too, girl, where is he? There's a lot of people on social media who are anti-Kastle shippers. They are not fans of Kastle, who will argue that like Frank sees her as a daughter, or that they only care about each other, but like you said, Frank can't have another love interest or isn't interested in her because of the one relationship he had in season 2 of The Punisher. And I'm like, you guys just don't get it. You don't get it, and also you don't watch their scenes like true to faith with like what they are. Like, you just truly don't believe it. That's all I'll say.
What I'll say to those people is that you can't read.
Respectfully, and actually, you can't read.
Respectfully, you cannot read what's happening on the screen if you think that Frank treats Karen like a daughter. Because just watch him with Amy. Just watch him with Amy and tell me that that's the same relationship. Because it's not. It's not. And it's not just because Karen is older. Which, by the way, they're not that far off in age either. So
She's
why?
just 5 years younger.
Canonically. So I don't know why you guys are out here like she's like a daughter to him.
They're like a daughter. No, he does not. And also they've explicitly talked about their feelings.
You just choose not to believe. You just choose not to believe. And that's okay. But like, let's be serious about
life to lead.
You know, if you don't like them together, fine. But know that you're wrong.
And in fact, we're right. And Kastle shippers are right. Yeah. And we do see you guys out there. We do see the Kastle shippers.
I see the fan fiction. I see the edits. I see the tweets I see the reels and TikToks of people being like, okay, but like, remember Frank and Karen? And I remember.
We were in the trenches.
We were in the trenches. I was out here editing. I think because, too, part of the beauty of being in fandom is when you're a fan editor or when you're a fan fiction writer, you're so locked in to each like individual episode or each movie or whatever piece of media that you're kind of splicing up, that you know all the beats, that you are very in tune with like the chemistry that exists between two characters. What do you mean? I spent hours. I spent hours on the parallels between these two. I think I would know what the subtext is.
Embarrassing, actually. It's like how much time we've spent going through the scenes.
We've done edits. We've done. I mean, like what else? We've done PowerPoints about like how good they are. I did a PowerPoint about how Karen and Frank Kastle is basically for Warren and Layla truthers. For those of us who are educated and watched Sky High, that's what their ship is. And you can pry that take from my cold, dead hands and tell me that that's not true. It's like, once you see it through that lens, you know that you're cooking. You know that you have the superior ship, because it's like, yes, Will and Layla are canon. Yes, Matt and Karen are canon, but they're not what would work the best. And that's part of the appeal of them, is that they're deeper. And more fun to ship.
There's the depth.
Exactly.
It's so the chemistry as well, insane. Karen's best chemistry is with Frank.
Yes.
And Matt's pretty good with Frank too.
Frank has he is. Yeah, he is.
He's really good with both of them.
Right.
But like, I think that is, and this is a hill that we will die on. Kastle truthers, that's what we are. We will die on that hill. We will also die on the hill of supporting Dex and everything he does.
Yes.
And I knew it was coming. I was like, I could see it in your eyes. We were ready to talk about him. We need to talk about Dex just a little bit.
He's done nothing wrong. He's just a guy. He's one of the good guys. In fact, that's what he said, and therefore I'm gonna believe him.
And I believe him.
I think he is just such a wonderful, captivating, compelling, enchanting, alluring character to watch. And you mentioned this in our last recording, but Wilson is having a lot of fun. You can tell that he's having a lot of fun playing Dex. He's such an interesting anti-villain, and I love that he is not necessarily sensationalized, I think, in the way that most mentally ill villains can be in the superhero world.
I agree.
It's very clear that he has mental issues, and we know that as an audience because of what we've seen from him, and we've seen his kind of journey with like getting help or not getting help for what's going on with him. But it's not like we're not in the trenches like we were with Smallville and Lex, or
oh my god,
with any Gotham villain, honestly.
They handle Dex pretty well in Born Again, I feel like.
I think they really do.
As an evolution of where he started in season 3 and now. I feel like they handle him pretty well. The only thing I don't like, and this is another hot take for Pandora's Box, the only thing I don't really care for is their use of like the blue lighting for him when he's like going
it's a little
psychopath
much
mode. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, it's like it's too much. I preferred what they did in season 3, but I understand that's a different part of Dex's life, so it can be represented differently. I think sound cues are a little better than the blue, but this is just a little bit what they're doing in Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, I honestly though, I like the blue. I think it's a little too much. They're a little heavy-handed with the blue, but I personally enjoy seeing the blue because I think it does have to do with his evolution of like going from we got like the grayscale flashbacks, but then also the buzzing in his head to a little bit more like I feel like it's crisper now, and now we have the blue lighting, like he's kind of like finding himself more. So yeah, I think they should use it a little bit less, but I'm not mad about it. I actually really like it.
It is good, and I do like that it makes me think about his drowning quote where in season 3 of Daredevil, but it's like instead of drowning, like now he knows what he's doing with himself, so maybe it's more of a comfort in that way to have that kind of cue for him. Obviously he can't see it, but we can see it.
We can see it. We
know. I appreciate that.
There's a few things in the show or elements, aesthetic choices in the show where I think that stylistically, like on their own, great, but they lean on it too much, and so the frequency of the use is just like, guys, we can dial it back a little bit. But that's pretty much our take as it stands right now on the first 4 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Honestly, we just wanted to check in again with our Kastle community. I hope that you're still all out there. I think this was just us being like, we're still here and we're also mad. we're also still on the hill. We're still here. We're still thinking about it.
We are reaching kind of the end point of this episode, which honestly, better time than the last time we recorded it. This one was a shorter episode, but future ones will probably be longer. We, like Mika said, we just wanted to touch base, check in, and share our feelings on the season. So if you are on the same page as us that Benjamin Poindexter has done nothing wrong, or if you're a Kastle truther like us, we want to know about that. And if you're the hardest Marin fan that is out there, and you have beef with specifically my hatred of Marin, but also both of us, we want to know too. Because healthy discourse in fandom is good. Just be respectful and maybe a little nice, and that would be good. But we'll be back because we are going to have more takes and more thoughts and opinions and feelings for the last half of the season for sure. So until then, we will see you next time, and stay fangirlish.
This has been Fangirlish with M and V. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.